spotlight. Albane McGuinness, who is a fabulous brand photographer. And well, I'm not going to give her too much of an introduction because she's going to tell you all about her business as I put her business under the spotlight. And I'll ask her some questions. Welcome, Albane. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, thank you for having me, Elaine. It's such a pleasure. So wonderful to be with you.
Oh, we could just keep going back about how much we love each other. If anyone cares to look at my social media, you will find photos that the lovely Albane has taken of me with her virtual photo shoot. But more, I'm sure, about that later. But for now, tell me, and maybe hopefully inspire some people out there who are thinking, oh, I don't know what I should do. Tell me, what made you start your own business? Why did you decide to do it?
Well, it was I was a bit pushed in a way because I got made redundant back in 2001. Decided to move into a sales job with a company that wasn't very old, didn't do my research, fell for it, boom, got depressed thinking, oh my God, why me? But that pushed me to find something that actually fulfilled me. And that was the photography. So I was a late bloomer, found my thing late in life, but that was for real. So that's how I got into starting my own photography business. So that was, yeah, a push, but I believe that it was for a good reason because I haven't
Oh,
changed since.
well, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I'm so glad you got a push. Tell me, what do your clients say? Oh, Albane, this wasn't what I was expecting. This is what happened when we worked together. What do they, or do they say anything after they do the photos? What happens for them and their business, their brand?
So usually what they say is, oh my God, I didn't think, why was I so worried about having a brand shoot? Because after a few minutes, I was fine. And actually, recently I had a chat with a client I've just worked with, and she said, straight after, I just had this confidence boost that I wanted to be visible and I wanted to show what I'm all about. And I was like, yes, mission accomplished. So
Yeah.
that's usually it. People are really putting so much pressure on themselves, and then usually they get to remember that I say to them, just think of the shoot as if you were having a chat with a friend, a get together with a friend, and then the magic happens. The shoulders go down, and then it all it just usually it's about a few minutes of being uncomfortable, but that's totally normal. But as we get to progress and talk more and have a good chat and a good laugh, then they can be relaxed and themselves, and they do the work themselves.
Brilliant. So what do you think is a common issue for people when you work with them? What brings them to you? What are they struggling with before they arrive at your door?
They hate having their photos taken, which I totally get because that's where I come from. I started my business being really in the background. And so most of my clients they don't like the way they look. They feel like they're getting older or they've put on weight, but then they realize they need to do something to grow their business, and staying in the background is not going to do them justice. um, and then by embracing who they are and seeing photos that they love, it gives them that self-worth back, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then yeah, when I see them being more visible across their marketing, it's just Oh, it makes me so happy.
Oh.
It really does.
So, like, what part of your business do you enjoy the most? It sounds like that's the part, but
Yeah,
is it?
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Giving that, um, giving people that sense that they they've got all they need. It's in them. It's just a question of unlocking that little thing. And the photos are the kind of anchor to remind them that they've got all they need to be successful in their business.
Yeah.
And that's the way
Okay.
I want to see it. So yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's
the part I
lovely.
love.
That's lovely, Alban. And it's so, we are aligned. We are aligned on that. As sure, look, well, you know, we're aligned. The answers are inside, not
Yeah,
outside.
yeah,
But you need the photos of the outside
yeah,
because otherwise no one will see you. No one can
yeah.
buy from you. Um, okay, let's go away from your business just for a second. Because I'd love to ask, I always find this question interesting because quite often it introduces me to people that I don't know about. So I want to ask you, like, who inspires you? Is it other photographers or maybe something completely different?
Um, Photographers, yeah, in terms of maybe pushing the boundaries of being creative, but I would say more coaches. And like recently, I got the great pleasure to meet Danny Wallace, the Queen Bee. She's been inspiring a lot of people up north of England, and I got to meet her in real life, and um, she's herself. What I saw online and what I saw in reality is exactly the same. And her mission is to inspire people to speak up and get them to realize that they've got a voice and they should share that. Uh, and that's what I loved about her. She's not trying to be just like anyone else. She is embracing who she is, and that's fabulous. And regardless of where you come from, you can be successful. And that's for me, that's the message that I get from Danny, and seeing how she's growing and how she's inspiring more and more people is just great. She makes you realize that in business it's not about being a Barbie doll, someone that looks like someone else. It's not about plastic beauty. It's about embracing your authenticity and sharing uh, a part of you and what makes you tick, because that's how you get people to come to you. So yeah, Danny Wallace all the way.
True. Oh my God, I've got to go running to check her out after we
The
wrap up.
Queen Bee. The Queen Bee.
I have to go, I have to find out. So, scribbling. Uh, what advice then would you give to a new business owner on how to find clients?
They need to be themselves. Again, that's the best way. Being themselves, being visible, because they will naturally attract people rather than go out there cold calls that can be a bit frustrating. By showing them, their own personality will do the work. And sometimes it's hard to realize that when you start a business, because you've got so much to do and you forget. But if you've got the your brand, if you've defined your brand from the start, it gives you focus and it helps you to grow quickly.
Oh, that is great advice. Tell me, so you've been in business a good while now. Um, so you're a long way past startup.
I'm a long way past what,
Past
sorry?
startup, yeah. So what would
Thanks.
uh, come on? I mean it in a kind way. You're so successful, Jeannie Macker, girl. Uh,
Uh,
um, what do you have any advice about like leveling up, going to the next level, and then maybe going, oh, I want to get to that level now, or I want to grow, you know,
Yeah.
for somebody who maybe feels that they are like, oh God, I don't know
Plateauing.
what to do it. What's your
Yeah.
advice to them?
Have a coach.
Yeah, I agree.
Honestly, that's the only way, because sometimes we can be, when you are in your own bubble, you fail to see what's obvious, but having a coach will help you to get the guidance. It will be a way of maybe even getting your bum kicked, but I'll be kicked in the right direction. And that's what it's all about, really. That's the only way to move forward. Because sometimes, friends and family don't really understand what it's all about to be in business. So having a professional coach is the way to level up.
It is, isn't it? It just, you can't see your future self, but they can,
Yeah, yeah,
so yeah, I agree. I agree. It certainly helped me working with coaches over the years, has definitely helped me get to the next level. Okay, how about things you didn't like? So have you tried a strategy? Again, I just find this helpful because what I have a real thing about there's no silver bullet. And so for me, there's lots of different ways to succeed, and I think it's great for sometimes people to hear that people didn't like something. So is there a strategy you tried to grow your business that you just were like, and maybe it was successful, but you just didn't like it, or maybe you were like, just no.
so I suppose there's I'd say two things. The first one was starting without a strategy. That might sound silly, but I started my business without a strategy, and that got me nowhere. So that took me some time to realize that. But please, please, please have a strategy. Um, the other thing I would say is um, sometimes you get to follow a coach's strategy because they try to sell the come with me and we'll 10x your income. And if that doesn't align with you or where you are mentally, that's going to get you nowhere. And
Yeah,
then that's a waste of money.
yeah, I agree.
So yeah, don't
Yeah,
be fooled by the dreams that are sold to you if that doesn't feel right. At the end of the day, you're the one who needs to do the work. So think carefully.
yeah, good advice. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I feel it needs to align with you, it needs to align with your personality. And also, a lot different coaches have tried different things and have different methodology, but it's also either they've learned it and it suits them,
Yeah,
or it fits their personality. And I think sometimes you need to understand that the answers lie within.
yeah,
And sure, learning a new skill is really important.
yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I agree with you. Great, great. Thank you for sharing that. Um, well, I think I know the answer to this, but anyway, I'm going to ask it anyway. The connection has been central to the success of my business, and it still is. Quite often, I will get another client because I've worked with somebody and they've loved working with me. What about you? Is connection important to you? Like, how does that manifest itself?
Well, for a start, if we didn't, if it wasn't for the connection, I wouldn't be here today and would have never known each other really. So that would have been a big miss in my life. But I think as a photographer, it's really important to connect with people because, like, at the end of the day, I'm not for everyone. And by getting to know people, it helps to get to create that magic. And yeah, connections and networking, it's a very big part of my business strategy, really, to get to get where I want to go. And the connection the connections open new doors, and that's so. At first, it might seem a bit scary. Like 10 years ago, when I started to do the networking and trying to connect with people, because I wasn't totally sure where I was going, and maybe lacking a bit of self-confidence. Um, that didn't really, that was really a real struggle. But then by doing the work on myself and knowing, having a strategy, having a coach, developing all that, I found a network of supportive women, and that's how the connections helped to grow my business.
Brilliant. Yeah. I think it is so important everywhere, whether it's on social media or through networking or just leveraging the people that you know and reaching out to them and seeing who they know. It's important to
Yeah.
ask people for those connections. I do. I think it's central. Um, oh, I'm dying to know the next one that she says, looking at the question. My mantra is act like, well, actually, it's not just act like a human on social media, it's act like a kind human on social media because I think a kind human on social media respects other people's boundaries, is complimentary, listens well, thinks of other people, all that kind of lovely, juicy stuff. Um, that's my mantra, and it's the hill I'm going to die on, Albane. I even write a weekly newsletter about it every Tuesday.
Ooh.
But what about you? What is your mantra?
My thing is, showing up is not showing off.
Love it.
And I think it's also because of my background and the culture I come from. Being front stage was very much like, oh, look at them, they want to be like this or like that. So you get that judgment. So then when you start your own business, you keep that in mind. And that's why a lot of people don't want to be visible, because they don't want to be taken the wrong way. They don't want to be seen as a show off. But then you, as a business owner, we need to rephrase all that, and showing up in our business is about, it's like having a shop and a window. We
Yeah.
are the shop window, so we need to put things in the shop window. We need to show that shop window. So that's what I'm quite passionate about, that one. And I keep saying to people, don't, keep in mind what how maybe you grew up. um Showing up is definitely not showing off, and you need to share what you are all about. So that's what I'm going to keep doing, because I know that's what I suffered from for ages, and so now I want to tell everyone about it.
Brilliant. I love that. I love it. I love it. It's so brilliant. Okay, tell me, what's the dream? What's going on for the next year or beyond? Where is where is your business going?
So there will be more workshops. I want to be able to give, maybe the startups and the ones who have less less funding for their brand. I still want these people to have the tools to push their business. So more workshops to teach them how to do it themselves. And also, down the line, I want to create a retreat with a coach, a transformation coach, because I very much believe that if you unlock your self-worth, if you are really ready in your mind, that's the first step to grow your brand. And once you've got that unlock, then having photos of yourself, the photos will represent that, and that will help you even more. So that's what I'm working on. I haven't got the exact details, but I'm definitely working on that one because I think it will be really, really powerful.
Yeah, watch the space. Watch the space. Okay, tell me, like, how can people contact you? I'm going to put the. I always do this. It'll be here or there. I can never remember where. But anyway, it will be with this video. So how can people work with you?
So, well, people can contact me on LinkedIn, of course, as Albane McGuinness. Can't be more Irish than that, can we? Apart from
No, or French for that matter.
so yeah, Albane McGuinness on LinkedIn or on Facebook and Instagram as Albane Brand Photography. So by sending me a message on there, then we can then connect and see where it takes us.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time today. It's been great to talk to you.
Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure. Thank you.